The US-China trade war began in 2018 under the Trump administration. Trump imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. This was to force China to change its trade practices. The tariffs acted like a tax on American businesses and consumers. They led to higher prices on many products. China responded with its own tariffs on US goods. This tit-for-tat exchange escalated the trade war. It caused economic damage to both countries. The trade war has had a significant impact on the global economy. It has strained relations between the US and China. This has created uncertainty in the global trading system. China's response to the trade war has been multifaceted. They have shown resilience and strategic depth. Instead of caving to US pressure, China has countered each move. This exposed the limitations of Trump's tariff approach. China's key strength is its escalation dominance. They can inflict more economic pain on the US. China has a more diversified economy. They are less reliant on US exports. China has prepared for economic conflict for years, investing in domestic industries and new export markets. China has deployed offensive economic measures, imposing retaliatory tariffs on US goods, targeting American companies operating in China, launching antitrust investigations and new regulations, hurting American businesses and costing jobs. China's economic strength should not be underestimated. They have a vast domestic market and growing economy, a major player in global trade and investment. China is well positioned to emerge stronger from the trade war. While China has been strategically navigating the trade war, the US has squandered opportunities to effectively pressure China. Trump's unilateral approach, characterized by a go-it-alone mentality, has alienated potential allies. These allies could have been instrumental in presenting a united front against China's unfair trade practices. Instead of building a coalition, Trump's actions have strained relations with key partners like the European Union. A more effective strategy would have involved coordinated action with allies. This would have required building consensus and working together to pressure China on multiple fronts. A united front combining economic and diplomatic pressure would have been far more effective than Trump's unilateral tariffs. Furthermore, the US has failed to adequately address its own internal weaknesses. Instead of investing in education, infrastructure, and research and development, areas critical for long-term economic competitiveness, the US has focused on short-term fixes. This lack of strategic vision has hampered the US's ability to compete with China in the global economy. Section 4. The Price of Protectionism, Public Opinion and Economic Realities. While the initial public sentiment in the United States leaned towards confronting China, the economic realities of the trade war are starting to bite. The tariffs, touted as a way to protect American jobs, have actually led to job losses in certain sectors. The increased cost of imported goods has also fueled inflation, hitting American consumers in their wallets. The trade war has exposed the fallacy of protectionism in a globalized world. The interconnected nature of modern supply chains means that tariffs often backfire, hurting the very businesses and consumers they are intended to protect. This economic pain is likely to erode public support for the trade war, putting pressure on the US government to find a resolution. The economic consequences of the trade war extend beyond tariffs. The uncertainty surrounding the trade war has made businesses hesitant to invest and expand. This has slowed down economic growth in both the United States and China, with ripple effects felt across the global economy. Section 5. A Dragon Ascendant? The global stakes of the trade war. The outcome of the US-China trade war has significant global implications. If China emerges victorious, it will solidify its position as a global economic powerhouse. This will have far-reaching consequences for the existing world order. China's model of state-driven capitalism, often criticized by the West, may gain wider acceptance. A Chinese victory could embolden China to act more assertively on the world stage. This could have implications for regional security, particularly in the Asia-Pacific region. Countries in the region may feel compelled to align themselves more closely with China, further shifting the balance of power away from the United States. The US-China trade war is not just about tariffs and trade deficits, it is a battle for economic and geopolitical dominance in the 21st century. The outcome of this conflict will shape the global landscape for decades to come. It remains to be seen whether the United States can course-correct and adopt a more strategic approach, or whether China will capitalize on this opportunity to reshape the global order in its image.